Every founder or every business owner needs a chip on the shoulder about something. Went to boarding school, so the goal is be a lawyer or play rugby. Not bright enough to be a lawyer, so rugby was the route. Got to a decent level and they just said you're too skinny to play. Hit the gym like a madman and just fell in love with it. And I started competing. I'm competing for my first competition. I'm on my treadmill at 5 a.m. one morning. My girlfriend at the time comes back from a night out and she breaks up with me when I'm on the treadmill because of the gym commitments.
Adios, amigos.
So once I'd stopped crying, I thought there's got to be something out there for people like me in this booming industry.
Right, so we'll go. Who have we got today, lads?
Introduce yourselves.
Callum Roberts.
Jamie Wykes-Hobday.
Callum Roberts, striker. So, FitFCK. Or do you not say fuck?
Oh.
Yeah, see, I've come
FCK.
across with saying this when people are like, who have you got coming on the pod? I'm like, the guys from FitFCK.
It's obviously a play on words.
Yeah, of
we'll
course.
say.
Of course. So,
go on.
FitFCK. Say it however you like. But we're a fit as fuck brand. That's what I say.
Open to interpretation.
Open to interpretation. That's a very good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did it all start then? Where did it all come from?
So back when I was in my mid-teens, I was playing rugby. That was the whole goal. Went to boarding school, so the goal is be a lawyer or play rugby. Not bright enough to be a lawyer, so rugby was the route. Got to a decent level, and they just said you're too skinny to play. So they said hit the gym and come back to us. Hit the gym like a madman for like some. You know what it's like when you're in your parents' garage banging weights.
Get the
and, like,
newbie gains.
That's it, right? Taking protein shakes because they're going to make you massive. And just fell in love with it. So took the gym as my sport, went to uni, and I started competing. So I'm competing for my first competition, and about 11 weeks into the prep, I'm on my treadmill at 5 a.m. one morning. My girlfriend at the time comes back from a night out. So you talk about contrasting lifestyles. And she breaks up with me when I'm on the treadmill because of the gym commitments. She was like, you're socially a recluse, you're a loser. Both true. She's like, I can't do this anymore. So once I'd stopped crying, I thought there's got to be something out there for people like me in this booming industry. We created FitFCK. But the goal has always been to create more than just an app, is to create like a real brand. So that's why we're doing everything that we're doing at the moment.
Should have turned to her and gone, who's going to carry the boat?
Yeah. Sadly, Mr. Goggins wasn't on it at that point. But yeah, if it was now, I'd be doing that. Yeah.
It is savage, but at the same time, you've got to see it as a blessing in disguise. Because if that didn't happen, you wouldn't have got probably anything that you've got now, maybe.
Yeah, true. I mean, the thing is like I could either, at the time, obviously it was upsetting, but I can either look at it, crying to my pillow all the time, or think, right, well, why has this happened? Surely there's a solution to it. 9 times out of 10 when there's a problem, there's a solution, right? So
And you can sort of use it as fuel for the fire, can't you?
Yeah, mate, I've always said that, and I'm sure you guys realise this with your businesses, that every founder or every business owner needs a chip on the shoulder about something. Yeah. You need like a bit of anger in you to get you out of bed in the morning. So use it as fuel, as you say.
It's almost like what Dean said on the last one. He said his missus made him basically get to where he's got now. So everyone's sort of, you need that thing to go, right, I'm going to switch.
Well, he went to pay for a Tesco meal deal and his card got declined. Yeah. And he was like, I can't have this anymore. And then three years later, he's turned up in a Lambo. Yeah, and it's just like turned his life around.
Motivation.
Yeah.
We could hear him coming down the A1. But yeah, more about you guys. So from then, obviously that happened. Was it a long process? How long are we talking from where you was then to?
And was it just an idea? What was your original idea for the app, or was it even an app that you wanted to create?
So yeah, it was always an app because obviously I was a Tinder veteran at uni, an absolute Tinder, a hound for it. But I thought, why is there nothing, for this kind of thing? But I've always said, it's very nice at the moment. We get a lot of people giving us big compliments and saying, looks like it's going really well, and they kind of talk about it as if it's only just started. Our brand relaunch happened March last year, where we really focused on events, clothing, community, team. But the actual concept was pre-COVID. Like, it's been a few years and COVID wiped us out completely. So I basically started it off myself, and then COVID wiped it because gyms were closed and restaurants were closed for dating. So what am I going to do? But thank the Lord, my good friend, the founder of OnlyFans, got in touch towards the end of COVID and things changed.
The plug. It's similar to us though, like with this podcast, we had people who have very recently said, oh, you just started a podcast. When did we come up with Zaddy and start putting
it was years ago,
It does take a long time before you actually start getting recognition for these things. But obviously now it's paying its dividends, isn't it? Because Like you was on BBC Good Morning, was it?
Yeah, so we've done BBC Yahoo.
Yeah.
We've got something coming out with the Evening Standard soon. So we've done like the press rounds.
And now you've got up to download discussions.
Exactly.
True.
Now we're on the big
That's
one.
it.
Now we're on
I
the
made
big
it down
one.
to Newark, eh?
Mate, I was expecting a box of Mars bars when I arrived. Come on, man. But,
Fuck's sake.
not got that sponsorship yet. We're working on it.
To be honest with you, obviously creating a very out there brand, it is very risk. Like you look at any of the brands who are out there, even Gymshark when they created. I remember my dad saying to me, he's like, laughed. He said, "What's a Gymshark?" Because he used to Adidas and Nike all the time.
Yeah.
So there is that risk, but like now we've got to a point where like press and media want to talk to us because it is so different and out there. And I personally don't think nowadays you can create a consumer brand if it is just vanilla or boring.
Yeah.
Because
It's probably already been done.
mate, there's 9 other fitness dating apps when I started. And that's what I say is whenever someone maybe asks stuff about the brand or the business or whatever, I say, well, it's not that genius. There were 9 other things, 9 other fitness dating apps when we started, but none of them created a brand and none of them were very different.
How you've branded it is clever. It is very clever because it leaves it sort of, it's, as I said, open to interpretation. You know what it's getting at, but you're safe to have done it because you're not who's actually put it on paper. So it's very clever in that way. But I have a girlfriend. I couldn't download it. I couldn't try it out. Hannah, I wanted to do some background research, Hannah, but I couldn't because of you. So what is it? I was an avid goer. Tinder, Bumble, Hinge. I'm swiping between them. Bang, bang, bang. Hinge was goated for me. Can't compare it to them. What would you? How is it? What's it like?
You know how? I mean, I'll just let you figure out how this came out when I said this in the press in 2023. If you do not have a gym profile on a picture, you're manually deleted off our app.
Adios, amigos.
Inclusivity.
Okay. How is that regulated?
So at the moment, before it's hit critical mass, so we're not at millions and millions and millions. It's quite easy to see. Like on a daily basis, we can see the profile, see who signed up, and if it's not a gym profile, within 48 hours we'll delete it, or we'll give them a notification saying it must be gym content. Because I've always said, I would rather have it not catered for everyone, but hyper focused on our niche. So at the moment, I know not everyone's going to love FitFCK, but the people who are involved love it. And they're hyper engaged and that's how we've built this community.
Yeah.
I'm probably hogging airtime, so I'll pass it to Callum.
No. I agree. It's niche. So then people who are involved in it are going to be super involved in it. You're not getting anyone that's half-hearted. Like you said, you was on Hinge, Tinder, Bumble, like all these apps. You're not on one hyper-focused one because there's a load of apps that do it. Whereas our app is just literally hyper-focused on a set group of people. So if they're in the community, they're going to be just on our app.
If you can get 100 people to love it rather than 1,000 people to like it, it's going to blow it up so much more because them 100 people, if they start talking about it, if I like an app, I'm probably not going to go out and tell Alex about it. If I find this, I go, mate, have you seen this app? It's
I
this,
think
it's
you
this,
hit
it's
the
that.
nail on the head there
Bang.
when you said community. Like you've built a community. I don't feel like I'm part of a community on fucking Hinge or.
You feel like a
Tinder.
pest.
No, you're just there.
That's the thing is that I 1,000,000% I never say success because in my eyes we're a million miles away from where we should be, but the progress over the past 18 months since the March rebrand has been the fact that it's community driven. So everything that we do, if I bring an idea to Callum or Callum brings an idea to me, it's always like, right, how can we embed this in the community? So the management thing that we touched on before, all the people that we're signing, they're not strangers. They're actually members of our community who've got followers. And that's the mad thing. And I've got a massive thank you to Callum for this. He's brought a lot of big creators to us who are in our community now. So it's kind of like, once you cater for that community and you show them that you care, which we do, that's what will set you aside from the rest.
So take us back then, because I've had friends that approach me, obviously because I know tech. They say, Alex, can you make an app? Got not a clue how to make an app. So obviously you've got the idea in your head that this is what you want, people to download this app and it's going to have this, this and this. Where do you begin from there?
So I fell into the typical London founder pit of outsourcing it. So pre-COVID, I go up to this fancy London agency, pay them more than I should, and I basically say, right, can you guys build me the app? They showed me around this incredibly massive office. I'm like, right, these are the guys.
Wowed you up.
Sounds familiar, right?
Yeah.
And basically, I found out that it was not only second party, it was third party to Bangladesh. So I was getting completely legged over, overly priced. And at the time, a good friend of mine, he was working at Jaguar Land Rover, and he could build an app. he could really build an app. And he just said to me, he said, Jamie, if you give me 3 months, I'll build this on iOS and Android and get it out for you. So he done it, did that. And then when we secured our last round of funding, we've got 3 YouTubers who are investors in us. So we've got a chap called Chaotic, SXVXN, and Nitro Luke. And Chaotic, Sam Harry, actually introduced his tech partner, and he basically invested in our app. So our current developers, they're not only our developers, but they're also shareholders in the business. And the reason why I like that is because they'll want us to do well because it'll benefit their shareholders.
Of course, yeah.
So it's not been a straightforward ride, far from it.
There's room on the boat.
There's room on the boat. I like that.
This guy likes boats.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shit, I'm a bit obsessed. Goggins mentality, mate, which I haven't got. So from that then, so how did you two come together then?
God, that's a good
Mate,
story.
6.
That.
I think it's a 6 story.
Yeah.
Night out.
Night out.
Night out.
Bosh. Similar,
Yeah.
similar to
Similar to
yeah.
us Thursday socials.
So what, did you
Yeah.
just bump into each other and then you start sat in the smoking area, you're like, oh, I've got this idea. You
Bouncing ideas
sick.
back and
Yeah.
forth.
Nah, so obviously we had protein shakes in the smoking area.
Yeah.
No, so like
No alcohol.
I'd stalked Callum. I think I'd communicated with you before.
Yeah, I've been doing social media a while. I've been doing social media as like everyone does, trying different things. I've done everything.
Is it trying to grow yourself?
Yeah, just trying to
Okay.
grow myself. So I started in fitness. My mates are big in the space, huge in the space, and I was always around them. They was like, "You'd be so good on camera." Didn't have the confidence, but I was like, I helped them film. They was like, "Man, you'd be so good." So I slowly started to get into it. Tried loads of different things. I mean, you could go back and see cooking videos from me, gym videos, everything. And I started to do decent because I had good people around me. And then things led on from there. I started to do work with like Gymshark here and there, Boohoo here and there. And funny enough, I was in Manchester. Jamie'd always showed me love. And I've been in the industry a while. Even though I don't have crazy followers like everyone else, I've got good connections and that's got me into these places. So I was in Manchester with a Gymshark and Jamie always showed me love. And I saw he was doing an event. And I was like, let's meet up. Let's see what you got to say. Because I sort of got sick of the industry a bit, if I'm honest. Because even though I didn't have a big following, I was still involved. But there was never any love or care showed for these big companies. At the end of the day, you are just a number on their sheet. And for me, I was kind of thinking, I want to look for something new. Imagine you caught Gymshark before they blew up. David Lade, prime example. He caught them at the early stages. Now look how big he is. And I was thinking, how about if I found something like that instead of going the general route that everyone's going? And that's where Jamie came along and I met him on a night out and I just loved it. I was talking to the owner of the company. There was no one else that I was talking to. We was messaging on WhatsApp. I built a relationship with him and that's what I liked about it. It was personal. And then from there, we just started working and doing content from there. And it was good. It doesn't feel like work at all. It's just like a community, a relationship. We're always like, let's meet up this weekend.
That's the dream, isn't it, right? For work?
Yeah. We got meetings, but we're going to go out and watch the football after. It's like, you don't get that with these other companies. You never get to have that kind of just relationship with the people that work there. So yeah, that's why I loved it the most. And that's why I think not only the relationship I built with Jamie, but the relationship with the company is why I'm still here. Because I love it and I see the vision as well. So yeah, that's how we first started.
What is the vision? Or where's it going?
The plan has always been, I want to create the first ever multi-level consumer brand to evolve from a dating app. You can tell it's very well rehearsed because I'm saying it every week at the moment in pit presentations and stuff. But the reason why I want to do that is because, you look at Tinder. When have you ever seen Tinder clothing? When have you ever seen Bumble supplements? When have you ever seen Hinge drinks?
Hinge doors.
I thought he was going to say Hinge boats.
He practiced that in the mirror last night. He was like, the lads are going to love this.
Oh shit! Get it.
Gotta drop that one in smell.
I've always said that, and you've only got to look at any of the brands that have made it into, like Gymshark's a great example. They've based off community and they've built a brand from it. I want to be the first dating app that does that. So we're currently looking at clothing. We've got supplements coming out, drinks. We're doing events already. We've got the management company. Because I think with an app, you've got a ceiling. You have a ceiling, you're an app, that's it. If you're a brand, there's no ceiling. There's no limit to what you can do. And I think that with FitFCK, because it's so out there and different, we can do that.
So start us with the app then. So obviously you had the idea. You approached your mate who said they'd build the app for you. When you first saw his first draft, if you like, of the app, what was your thoughts? Was it as you'd thought? Did you give him some feedback?
Tweaks.
Yeah.
So
because I imagine it's not a hard thing for somebody to build that because you've got to build profiles.
yeah.
It's got to have accounts. It's got to be all secure.
Well, we got 100k signups on the first pilot pre-COVID.
Oh, really?
Which is pretty sick. But what was interesting was I didn't hyper focus the audience, so I made the app available all over the world. So I've got influencers here, there, and everywhere posting it. So you got people in Taiwan downloading it, people in Brazil downloading it. What we've done now is it's hyper focused just for the UK, specifically London. But to answer your question with the first draft, a typical thing with founders is, and it's not great, is you're just keen to get it out there. You're like, let me get it out there. This is ready.
Because you're buzzing, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, mate, mid-20s releasing an app, that's crazy. And I was like, this is good, but good ain't great. And so now our current app, it's a lot slicker. The design's a lot better. And looking back on the two versions, they are worlds apart. But I can look back on the first version and think, do you know what? I built this with my mate. We got a lot of people onto it. People knew who we were. Happy days.
Stepping stone.
Yeah, I mean, we learned from it. And I've always said to Callum, like, him working with me, I want him to see my fuck ups as well. But it's only ever truly a fuck up if you don't learn from it. Do you know what I mean?
Things will go wrong. It's inevitable. It's about
wrong.
It's about what you do after it goes wrong. That's the main thing. It's like we've had no end of issues, and like there's times where when we had a podcast with our mate Brad and we put it out and we were so buzzed with it, weren't we? First thing, there's a hiss all the way through this.
Yeah.
You called me up, didn't you? Fuming. I was like,
and
mate,
then it was echoing as well.
Yeah.
And it was just like, but then we've bought a new mixer, so like the next pod, so hopefully you've got to learn from your mistakes, haven't you? But that's how you grow, I suppose.
Yeah,
That's
it's like 1% better every time. Every time you do it, 1% better, and
Yeah.
eventually it's going to be an amazing thing. Which obviously you've got it to the situation now.
Yeah.
I
where
mean,
it
I've
is.
seen some of the reviews. I went on the App Store earlier and just had a look down on the reviews of the app. I mean, it's what is it, like 4.7 or 4.8 stars?
I'll
And
quickly call my gran and say thanks.
all the reviews, like there's people writing paragraphs about the app saying, how they're into the gym and there's nothing else like this on the market, and they've found people through it who've got similar sort of common interests.
But hand to God, mate, because the first question that investors, for example, they always ask me is to say, like, have you deleted reviews? Because you can now report reviews if they're abusive, which sadly most app reviews are. We've never deleted one. I've never deleted one app review. And so what it tells me is that, we're in the decent amount of thousands for signups, but we've got, I think, 1.2 million engagements on the app. So people are hyper focused on it, so that people have done 1.2 million actions.
Okay.
And it shows me that whilst we're not again at critical mass yet, the people who have downloaded it are happy with it. So for me, that shows me that it's scalable. If we've created a shit product, I'm like, we're not ready to scale. Now I'm literally just saying to partners, look, let's put X amount into the business and let's really scale this because it's ready.
And you've got the data to back it up. Like, how many active users do you have?
So it's currently, I think we're coming up to 10k, which is fantastic.
Yeah,
and I think in deletion rate, we're like half the industry norm. So like for a startup app, normally, let's face it, a new app, you download it and delete it.
Yeah.
Of ours, we like hardly any do. And I think that's because they believe in where it's going.
Yeah.
We've not had a day go past since we launched where people haven't downloaded. And me and Callum were saying on the train earlier, we haven't actually invested that much into marketing yet. It's just through word of mouth.
I did have some ideas, and you might already do these. As I say, I haven't been on the app, so I don't know.
I'm intrigued.
Have you thought about possibly reaching out to gyms, and then they'll give you, say, like, if you get a certain amount of time spent in a conversation with this girl, this gym nearby will offer them a day pass to go on a date at a gym.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
That is quite cool, actually.
And then also you could have like a side part on it where it gives like workouts that you can do together. So then when they both go on it, they can put in what they did on this workout. And then if
That's
they go,
good.
it'll track how much they did on this set. Then when they go again, they can both improve and try up it.
Do you want to come this side?
I was going to say, mate, are you going to send us an invoice or something?
Yeah. How much?
That's trademarked, by the way.
Oh, so we had a 2-year trademark battle with a fashion company. I can't legally say the company,
But you can guess.
but a fashion company that sounds very similar to our company. It was massive in the 90s and noughties.
Okay, I
think,
think
FitFCK.
Yeah.
So a 2-year scrappy mid-20s
Oh, yeah.
lad on a Zoom call to the US Supreme High Court trying to get our US trademarking, because I'm sure you guys know trademarks are everything. That's the value, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you got a different name, you want that to be yours. About a decent 5-figure amount spent and 6 months on Zoom calls, basically. And we won, obviously, but do you know what? If I was like you, like mega clued up on social media at the time, I would have vlogged the whole thing, because that's gold.
Yeah.
A founder talking about that, but I just wasn't, and I was a bit nervous. I wasn't as secure in myself as I am now. Back then I was a bit, I wish I'd documented that.
Yeah, because you could have made like a hit piece on it, couldn't you? Obviously, it's promoting the app, isn't it?
Yeah, and I would have just bleeped out the company name the whole time. You know, it's not an issue.
People love drama, don't they?
Chalked up into like a 30-minute, hour-long documentary.
This is the thing, is that the content that we post, the gym workouts, the nights out, they get good engagement. But when we vlog us in the office, spitting ideas, that's what people buy into more. It's like the authentic, as you say, when errors happen and we document it. That's what people like. Do you know what I mean?
In this day and age as well, right now, I think the most trending thing right now is young entrepreneurs. You have the looks of Eman Gadzi, Chris Williamson, like doing all their podcasts. So what I've started to find is that actually people want to know about what I'm doing, because they're like, wait, but how have you got into that? I came from the background of doing the 9 to 5, working electrician. So I've been in both worlds. And I'm not saying I'm nowhere near made it, but they're sort of like, yeah, but how did you get into that? What did you do? You know what I mean? Everyone's interested in that.
You know in your heart as well, you're on track to do it. I think when you know you've put in the work, you know it's just going to happen. And then it's also, you set your own ceiling as well. Like you probably know in your heart, you have made it. You're not at there yet, but you've got the steps in place. You know where you're going. Yeah. So that as well probably helps your confidence to know.
I think it's all relative as well, though. Like there'll be stages. I'm sure, especially speaking for myself, you know, an older version of me would look at me now and think, fucking hell, well done. But then me now, I think, what's next?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I assume it's the same thing for you guys. I mean, you'd have imagined back in the day when, you know, you saw your first draft of the app, you'd have thought, oh, you know, I'd love this to have 10,000 active users, and now you're there. But now you're thinking, what's next?
I think that's the thing, is that I had a meeting with my old man's mate over last Christmas, and he's worked in consumer products before, and he gave me this really good bit of advice, which this speaks true to what we're doing at the moment. He said, Jamie, every 2 weeks you need something new. You need something new. You need something new. Because we live in this world right now where hype and clout is everything. And if you go a month without something coming out or announcing something or putting something out for your audience, you fall off. And so I've always said, whilst we're at this early stage, or version 2 early stage, we just need to be going right, content ideas. But if I can revert back to Callum's thing, where he was talking about his 9 to 5, he, I don't need to speak from it. If you go on his page, the majority of it is fitness, chatting to girls in public, chatting to girls at the gym, etc., etc. And 2 weeks ago, he put together a video better than mine probably of talking about my business journey, and he was just sat on a pontoon in Mexico, so it's a great aesthetic. And he said, what do you think about posting it? And I said to him, I said, mate, I absolutely promise you this post will do better than any of your videos that you've done, because it's a different side of him, it's authentic, it's real, and there's so many people out there who can either relate or want to relate. And what did it do? Your top views videos were like 10k before, 40k in like 2 days.
Yeah, blew up.
And I think
it was nervous though. I'll be honest. I was nervous posting it, and I mean, I do some crazy content in the sense of I don't get nervous talking to girls, posting that content. But for me, that felt very like I was. There's so much out there in this day and age of people telling you, you got to do this to earn money, you got to do this, or look at my life, I'm flashy, I'm living the life. And a lot of the time they're lying, right? They're living a dream that they're not actually living. And I didn't want to come across like that. I just wanted to come across as, okay, reflecting on my journey, I've done a lot of things which a lot of people in my age, I'm 21, want to do. They want to get out of the 9 to 5, the matrix, as they like to say. And I was like, I should probably be talking about this and actually giving game to people and telling them how I've sort of done it, and how, to me, my biggest thing that I feel has got me to this position is networking. That's the best thing that I've done since day. I'll go into.
You didn't always know it though.
I didn't know it, and it's only coming to pay dividends, you could say, to me now. Back in the day, I used to always think that let's say there's 100 people in the room. Every person in the room has something to offer you. Yeah. Every person. So I want to know what every person does. Yeah. Whether that's now or in the future. And now I'm starting to realise that that's starting to positively impact me. But back in the day, I just thought, I just want to know what everyone does. I was that kid that was sort of like, I want to go knock on that mansion door and be like, what do you do for work?
Asking questions.
How do you do this? Yeah, how do you do this? And then because of that, they obviously liked me as a person, and I just started to build relationships, and now it's starting to pay off.
It's not even that, mate. I think I think the reason why Callum's done so well networking is because, and I've seen him in action when I introduce him to people, and I think it's the same in business. I've always said, what do we have, the three dinner rule?
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, if we're going to speak to someone new that you want to do business with, it's like meet them 3 times before you even chat about business. Because A, you need to know you like them. They need to like you. Let's chat it up. Let's have a pint. Let's swap stories. I think today in 2023, because everyone just wants everything now, I've seen it with loads of my mates. They just jump down people's throats for business on the first time they meet them. What Callum's done very well, and as a 30-year-old man, I can say is I've taken some knowledge from watching him do it, is that you need to firstly develop the social relationship with someone in order to network with them before working with them. And when he came to me in the office the first time we met in like March time, he's sharing his network with me, and I'm like, mate, that's a valuable network. He said, I didn't even know, I've just been myself. And it drills down to authenticity and not just diving straight into money every time you see someone.
I think what it is as well is when you talk to them, if you can show that you actually take a genuine interest in them, a lot of the time people come in and they'll start talking, I do this, I do that, I do that. There's asking someone a question, and there's actually being interested about them, and obviously that'll pay you dividends. Being like having a conversation, saying, "Look, I want to know this about you. And people like to talk about themselves, but they like to know that someone wants to hear it more than anything. That would be it.
But it's his. We won't say his name just because. But his mate had a big party a few weeks ago for his birthday. It was a brilliant night, and naturally, this guy's a creator, so there's a lot of creators there. Literally, people would be like, "I've seen him on TikTok, I've seen him on YouTube, whatever." And it was sad in a way to watch. Some people go up to these creators, and it was not, hey mate, how are you? You having a good time? Like, how's your night been? It was, hey mate, I've seen you on TikTok, we should totally collab. And like, if you imagine mate, you must get this all the time. It's like,
I relate.
hang on mate, I don't know you. Like, let's go for some food and go for a workout, get to know each other, and then if we align, let's talk.
That's what I thought when Mitch first tried to speak to me.
He's still ill. And he's never left.
What did you say to me? What was it? One of the things.
I don't know. What did I say to you?
I always thought, I really want to be mates with him.
Yeah, because I always knew Mitch was. You're quite popular around Lincoln, and I thought this kid knows what he's doing.
Miles.
And then we're in the pub, weren't we, having a few pints, and you came, let's do a podcast. I was like, oh, go on then. And here we are.
No, we were mates for quite a while, and I was helping you out on other things.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah.
And then we thought...
We've definitely done what you just described.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We didn't just jump straight into it.
Yeah,
we developed everything first, didn't we? And then got on with it.
We were just doing general work, and I said, have you ever thought about doing it? Because I've always loved to do this, because I just chew ears. But I like getting you guys on, I thought... I'm just so interested in it. What you've done, how you've got there, like the process.
To talk to, mate.
Like
You're
this, people will do this to make money.
Yeah.
We've not made a penny, and I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Like obviously, he's put
karma.
a bit into it as well. But to me, I feel like this is just destined to do well because we enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And that's the thing, is that money. I don't think it goes money then passion. It goes passion then money.
For sure.
And again, if you look at any of the genuine top founders today, you can tell, you cut them open and their brand's bleeding out of them. For me, I know the minute I wake up, the first thing I'm thinking about, a few other things, but is business, and we're on it. But I think as well, and I mean, mate, it shows you where we're at again with society, is that the OnlyFans guy, right? I reckon I tell him on a weekly basis, I'll get fully grown men most of the time asking me for lunch. So I'm like, oh great, what do they want to talk about? I look at the LinkedIn, they've got a good, something might be of use, we can chat. Get halfway through the meal, and it's like, can you introduce me to him? And it's just like, it's a ruthless society that we live in now. It's just like clawing, and just using people to get to people. And it needs to change, I think. I'm not a fan of it.
Can we delve into that relationship you have with him?
Yeah, definitely.
So how did you meet him? Was it through that, or did you just know him?
So I'm with a couple of mates and we're chatting about OnlyFans, and obviously the first thing is, wow, the guy who made it must be worth loads, and look, it's worth 8 billion right now.
Jesus.
Like cash generating, it's a beast. And my mates were like, go on, Odd, DM him. So I DM'd him, and we chopped it up on the DM a few times, and mate, he invited me for lunch where he lives, which I won't disclose because there'll be probably a few people at his doorstep. And so I met him, and what I will say, and I don't mind if he hears this, I've said this to him, I was expecting a bit of a Flash Harry, a bit of a geezer, whatever. And I'd say this even if he wasn't involved and even if he hadn't invested. The most calm, humble, down-to-earth, quite quiet at times bloke I've ever met for what he's done. And so we were speaking for like a good few years, got to a matey level, and then when he exited OnlyFans, I was just like, hey, let's talk. And I said to Callum the other day when we were talking about investments and everything, that he invested a decent amount, but his name association, mate, it was everywhere on the internet. Literally, The Sun, The Mirror, UK Tech News, everyone was posting about it.
It's massive, isn't it?
But the irony is that we got 24 investors for our last round. and only gave away 10%, right? I reckon 20 out of those 24, over half of them just followed him. Because you look, knock OnlyFans all you want. The bloke created an £8 billion business from his kitchen, literally started in his kitchen.
There's not a single person that doesn't know the name OnlyFans either, is there really?
Oh, it's huge.
Mate,
Massive.
You're one of the biggest
Yeah.
spenders on it, aren't you?
Mate, people talk about all these brands and everything, and I always say, I'm like, look, yes, they're great, but the most notorious one, for both good and bad, and financially now, is OnlyFans. You know, I reckon it's the most impactful business of our generation.
I agree.
What's it? So he's not involved in it anymore?
No, so he's a shareholder, he's an investor.
Oh, okay. Was it just too much? Or
He probably had his exit strategy.
Sorry, I thought we talked about FitFCK. No, with OnlyFans,
Yeah.
I can't speak for him, but he publicly exited last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's probably in his plans, wasn't it? He's probably had a goal to fucking build it to a certain amount and then exit. And
I mean, look, if you're going to exit after Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion have said it in their song.
Yeah.
Things like this, you make relationships with people that are like-minded, that want to do positive things. So there's
Yeah.
always things that can come from it. That's what I mean. Like the amount of people we've met.
With Callum, like, we didn't really touch on it. Like, his journey in FitFCK has literally been like a incremental, like, chart in a way. Like, he came on as like an ambassador.
Yeah.
No, so he started off doing like modelling for us, then came into an ambassador, then he started working in the company a bit, and now he's working in the management side of things, and then in 2024 we'll probably build it up a bit more. And it's similar to what you guys have just said, is like, I like to work with people that I've got to know better. I don't know how big companies do it when they just hire people off a CV. How do you not know that
impossible.
person's a complete nutter?
Yeah, it's
Do you know what I mean?
impossible. So, well, we get it with our work in construction. They can have this great CV, then they can come in, they can be useless.
I've
You
seen
need-
that so many times.
You need to
Yeah.
vet
Yeah.
people in person.
Yeah.
So what you wanted to go on, your management. So
Yeah.
how does this work then? What is it? What are you bringing on?
So, like I said earlier, something that I'm not keen on is watching how a lot of creators are managed at the moment. So it's literally, you can talk about the life cycle. It's audition for reality TV, go on reality TV, get a manager, and then it's suddenly £200 teeth whitening deal here, £200 gym clothing brand deal there. For me, a manager is literally like it is in football. You're helping them with their whole life, in the sense of, I said to Callum, we want to offer a 360 approach. So when someone comes on, of which we're only taking 4 clients, we talk about, okay, how can we do proper brand deals? How can we help your business? How can we build your marketing? How can we, we've even got lawyers being put to our clients now, accountants, everything like that, press deals, PR runs. Because what's interesting is that some of the creators I've spoke to have got hundreds of thousands of followers, but then their SEO is dead. They're nowhere on the internet. When you type their name in, it's just their Instagram and their TikTok. I've said to our guys that when I type your name into the internet, I want to see articles. Who are you? Already doing it with Callum already.
Yeah.
You type in his name, there's like 4 or 5 articles already. Because again, that's the credibility, isn't it?
Isn't that what allows you to get verified
I was
without
literally
having to
about to
pay
say
for
that,
any
yeah.
three
Yeah.
live articles?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the verification one now. It has lost its credibility, obviously. But if I'm as FitFCK, if I'm looking to pay for someone to work with us, I'll give it a very deep Google search first, and that's the first thing you should do. You need to do a proper background check, don't you?
He said he did a deep dive on our Instagrams. I was thinking, fuck.
What's
Yeah.
he seen there?
Yeah. But
Isn't
like,
it
Yours,
bad,
yours is all right. Mine, if you go deep enough, you'll see some things.
yeah,
Yeah, he saw the picture of you on the boat.
yeah.
Carrying it, you mean?
But no, that gets announced on, I don't know when this goes out, but that gets announced with Saturdays. That gets out on Monday. So we've got our first athlete done as well, who's, I'd say, a very promising guy.
Very good, very good. I like him. He's again, just me networking, him coming to me, just asking about advice on social media and stuff like that. And I rated it. It wasn't the general person coming to me. I get so many people coming to me, can you introduce me to this person? Or can you introduce me, like we were talking about earlier, so many people. And he just came to me generally asking about advice. And I was like, I like this. This is perfect. I'm going to show you love, and do you know what I mean? And he was a generally nice person. And as time went on, he always showed me love. His content was doing really well. I just told him to make a unique niche. Don't do what everyone else is doing. Do something that's personal to you, and that will be unique. And then he started to grow. And then as time went on, I showed Jamie to him, and he was like, damn, who's this guy? Let's bring him in. And then from there, yeah, we've got him on the management, and he's going to do so well.
But it's interesting because what I want to do with these guys who come on is I kind of want to add to their content game. So for example, this guy, he's a good looking gym lad, and he does get ready with me gym videos, he does training with me videos and all this stuff. But in the background, he was on the last round of Little Mix's talent search for singing. He trains with his sister, who's also a content creator, and he's also got a mad story behind how he got into training and everything. None of those three have been put on his socials.
Yeah.
I said to him, I said, mate, the first video you do of you singing, imagine, good-looking gym lad sings. That's going to get traction.
Whilst he's getting ready. Whilst he's getting ready.
Yeah.
Just like
I mean, you guys know how this works, right? And I also said a family story as well. You've only got to look at Deji and KSI. People love a family. The Furies, John Fury and Tyson and Tommy. People love a family story.
That Kate, have you seen that Casey who was on Locked In?
Yep.
Yeah.
So her whole family, I'd never even heard of her, and then she won it, and then she was against that guy, that Danny. I was thinking, oh, he's got it easy. And she won it, and then my missus was like, she's massive.
Yeah.
And then I looked at, and it's just their whole family. They're vlogging everything, and it's such like a different dynamic.
It's feel good. It's wholesome, and let's face it, there's so much negative shit online right now that if you can see a couple of people in a family together, training together, and having a laugh, it's great.
Yeah.
So again, we're just trying to add more strings to that bow, and not just be one dimensional. You know, to offer the 360 approach.
Yeah. It's the best way to go. Well, I think we've got aims in mind, but we probably could do with some help from someone like you, because we've got this and Summit,
Get the papers ready.
So what are you offering influencers, if you like, then? Obviously, other than deals, how are you going about, like you mentioned, like managing their life and making sure that everything's running smoothly for them?
So obviously it all gets contracted up, and what we basically do is we have deliverables in every contract of what we'll do every month in return for a small retainer and a percentage of the deals.
Yeah.
We're not going to rinse them like most agents do. But so for example, with me personally, they'll get like a business mentoring session every month, where typically towards the end of the month, where we look at everything, we look at the insights, look at the analytics, look at the income, think, right, how can we improve this? Then from a marketing point of view, working with Callum, working with myself, and working with other creators, we think, how can we level up the marketing game? Because let's face it, it needs leveling up all the time. But then in terms of what I'm doing at the moment, so I work for the government on a UK enterprise advisor scheme, where I basically go to schools every 2 weeks and speak to kids about going into entrepreneurship. I can actually bring a lot of our guys through to tell their story to these platforms as well. That's something that no management offer will do. But also all the press that's surrounding FitFCK at the moment, if you're signed with FitFCK management, I'll put you onto any press run. So we've got a piece with the Evening Standard going out in a couple of weeks' time, which is the second biggest newspaper in London. Callum's on it. The other guy's on it. Two of the girls that we're working with are on it. And then all the way to when we're working in the office, you know, they'll come in, they'll do sessions as well, where we'll even plan out events for them. So it really is doing everything. We've got one of our girls going out to Berlin on a trip that we've organised through our contacts. So I'm really offering them me and my network in my Rolodex as well as just brand management.
Shows that you care, sets you apart from the other people as well. If you do get to the situation where you feel like you could upscale it, or you even teach Callum to do what you do, then he can take on 4 people. It was just so easy. You're so easy to get the right people.
He could do it now, and I'd give him the contacts for it. But stripping it back, I didn't say the most basic thing which we do, which is when someone comes to us, I'll always say to him, right, have you got your portfolio and your deck? Brand deck, you know, Mars Bar deck, this is Mars Bar, this is Insights. No creator I've spoke to has one. So for me, when I go into a business meeting, it's always like, Jamie, can we see your investment deck? Yeah, sure, here it is. So when they come on board, we'll take them to our photographer, get some portfolio shots done, send it out to modelling agencies. So that's regular work. And then we'll actually create their brand deck for them, which is like 5 slides just explaining who they are to these brands. Because I know as a brand owner, if you come to me and you just say, I charge £200 for a post, I'm like, okay, cool, water's wet, grass is green.
Yeah,
but if you come to me with a deck where I'm like, you're like, hey, I'm Mitch, this is what I'm about, and it's really put together, that sets you aside from the rest. Yeah. And no managers do this. Yeah. So when they sign up the first week, they'll come in and we'll do a deck with them and portfolio and everything.
Setting them up, it's just doing the extra that others don't. It's offering
and they don't have nitty-gritty stuff either. So like a lot of them don't have companies registered, which is very dangerous.
Very.
They don't have a lawyer, so I've put them onto my lawyer. They don't have an accountant, I've put them onto my accountant. Obviously that benefits me.
Yeah.
But like it's even little structural things like that which we offer our clients, which no one's really doing.
Do you give them a good background sweep?
What do you mean?
Do you go on their Facebook and go, this has got to go?
Oh, fully. No.
Mate, my Facebook will getting deactivated, I think.
Mate,
it's
goes well. With a lot of creators, I'll be honest, there's creators who've done OnlyFans in the past, and I've said if we're going to work together, we need to do like a deep dive on the web, so like get these articles off.
Yeah.
Because if our name, and let's face it, if I'm chucking Callum's name on it too, he's jeopardised, and everyone gets affected. So I don't mind if people do OnlyFans content or if they've done it in the past, but it needs to be disassociated to work together.
You need a scrubber. Someone just goes on and scrubs everything off.
Yeah, I've got a mate who does that for a living, and he does it.
I know it can be done. You can get stuff removed from the web, can't you? Like articles and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's we've had a couple that had to get removed.
I know, working myself with a few management companies, they're all a smile and a laugh on the WhatsApp groups. I won't drop any names, but it's all just, they'll approach me and give me a deal, and I'll be like, yeah, that's sound. And then it's just like, have you done the video? And that is literally the be all and end all of the conversation.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like, as you've mentioned there, where they're asking how I actually am or how I'm doing. It's just, hi, how you doing? Where's the fucking video? And it's like, yeah, cheers.
Money.
But I won't take on people that I don't know. So the 4 big clients that we're taking on, I've known them. The shortest amount of time I've known someone out of that group is 6 months. Because I want to know that I can work with them, I want to like them, and therefore I'll actually put my effort into them. So we've got a good brand Rolodex of probably 200 brands that we can reach out to, and that's just been through networking. But at the end of the day, that is the bare minimum that a manager should have. The bare minimum. When someone flexes it to you, we can reach out to 200 brands. You should be like, great, cool. Like, what else? What else are you gonna give me? Are you gonna take me to my favourite team's football match and vlog it as a content day because you've got connections to that football club? No, we've done that with one of our clients. He supports Chelsea. I've got.
See, I would feel nervous to even ask that question, but I feel like that's.
You need to.
I'm more in my right to ask an agency that I'm working with if they can do things for me, aren't I? Really?
It's the first thing we spoke about, football, right?
Yeah.
So if let's say, so I know some people who work near West Ham, right? If you're a West Ham fan, the first thing I'm thinking is right. How can I take Alex to a West Ham game as part of our deal? Well, I'm not going to go out of pocket, but we can do it as a content. Hang on, let's do a partnership with West Ham. Do you know what I mean? And it's I don't think people in general think outside the box nowadays, and especially in management.
No, it's too linear, isn't it? And just secure this deal and get the video done and get it out and onto the next one, and they're just thinking about the bag, aren't they?
That's why you've done so well, is because your stuff is so out there and so different. Like when Mitch was explaining your channel in full depth, I was like, I've never heard or watched stuff like that before. And I guarantee when I get home I'll watch it.
Yeah.
It's very different.
It's as weird as it is. Sometimes I'll get home and I'm like, oh, Miles uploaded, but it's funny because it's on YouTube. It's almost like it's like not like Alex. I'm like, I'll watch it. I do like watching videos. I've always said
you
this.
think it's me though when you watch it?
It's funny sometimes because I'm like, you putting it on.
I'm playing it up. Yeah.
But it's enjoyable to watch, even though you know it's your mate and it's a bit like a character. It's still a nice, easy watch. Like I'll be on a Sunday night, like take flows up, sound.
Yeah, it's what it's chatting about.
Let's watch the video about these earpods that I don't give a fuck about, but it's just fun. It's just
I get that with him though. So when he puts his videos up, the dropping game ones, I'll be like, I was just with this bloke an hour ago in the office, and now I'm watching him drop game. It's kind of like. It is 2 different people.
Yeah,
it's funny.
It is.
Yeah.
But what people don't realise is that it is a persona, like you said as well. But it's you as well.
Yeah, of course.
So before I was filming, I was always dropping game on girls. I was always dropping game on girls. I was always going up, talking to girls and doing it. It's just I started to realise that actually, let me start to put this on camera. But that's just me in a certain scenario. When I come out that scenario and I'm chilling here, I'm chilling. I'm not going to be here like constantly talking about girls. That's just me in that scenario. And I think people sometimes forget that. Like you see some backlash sometimes on, I don't know, big names like KSI and stuff like that. And it's like, but that's JJ. That's not KSI. It's a different person. I always said to my mom and dad, because at first they didn't really get my content. They didn't understand it. They thought like, I was working electrician. They was like, you gotta be careful. You can lose your job. La la la. I sat down. I remember this. I said to them, I was a bit angry. But I sat down and said to them, okay, let me ask you like this. You go to watch a comedian. You go to watch a comedian that says, knock knock. Who's there? Boo hoo. Whatever. You're not gonna watch him, right? You go to watch a comedian that the line's there. They go to the line. They go right to the line because that's funny. That makes you laugh.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna go on social media on my content and go, hi, I'm here with. Yeah, what do you do for work? No, that's boring. No one's gonna watch. No one gives a shit. So it's about creating that kind of energetic character which people are gonna watch. That's what I describe it as. Same as a comedian. When he goes home, he's not there telling jokes to. He's chilling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As long as you're being talked about, that's all that matters.
Like when we went to Nico's house, I'm sure they won't mind us saying. When we got there, they're so chilled out. Like AJ is like such a quiet, nice lad. And then when you watch it on it's like a different thing.
Yeah, literally,
But I don't think they'll mind
do a
it.
clickbait can we somehow put the beta squad into our clickbait? Like,
Beta squad exposed, they're fake.
No,
they're really,
you see
really
Nico
nice.
in the videos, and it's just mental, like non-stop. And then it was just weird. We built him a setup,
just
didn't
such
we?
a
In his room,
down-to-earth
and he was just
guy.
sat at his desk, just like, oh, this is sick. And I'm just like, fucking hell, that's Nico, just like looking at the setup and just being sound. And it's something I'd never seen from him before.
Yeah, it's like you said earlier though, is we're human.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're all human.
We're not this fucking. I think people hold you, especially like fans and that. They hold you at this. That's why I get a bit nervous meeting people, because I'm like, fucking hell. When they actually meet me, they might not think I am who I am, or who they think I am through my videos. Because I am just Alex. Like I'm just a dude that's like everybody else that just happens to make videos.
Like that so many times. Like in that, remember we were in the queue at Stealth, and it's like Mars,
yeah.
and then it was like, mate, do you know Lost Village? Have you ever heard of Lost Village?
Nah.
There's this festival just near here.
It's 5 minutes away.
Do you like a festival?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Mate, you'll have to come to Lost Village.
Lost Village is
It's
unreal.
like I've been to like Leeds, Creamfields, everything like
Nothing
that.
like it.
It's amazing.
It's in the forest.
It's in the forest, in the woods.
Cool.
Like the lasers going off all the trees. You get like actors that walk around and do all sorts of stuff. The food there as well is amazing. They have all these food vans from different like Venezuelan, Vietnamese. The food is amazing. It's so good. And if you live nearby, you get a cheaper ticket as well. We can just get these £150 tickets.
Nice.
But we were there.
Obviously having a good time.
We're having a good
A
time.
few beers and that, yeah.
I walked through the crowd, and this swarm of lads just circled me. It was so weird. They all go, "I'm Phil." You know that Usyk, the boxer. They go, "I'm Phil." I turn around and went, "I'm very Phil." And they went, "Ah." They go, "Do you watch YouTube?" I was like, "Oh, mate, I was like, "Do you know Nico Milana?" They go, "Yeah." I was like, "I set his house up last week with our mate." They went, "No, you didn't." I went, "Yeah." They went, "Who's your mate?" I went, "Mars Bar." They went, "Mars Bar?" I went, "Yeah." They went,
Is
I
he
went,
here?
I went, "He's over there." And they went, mate, these 10 lads are like, "Mars Bar, where? Take me now." I was
And
like,
I'm off my head in the crowd. I just see all these boys running over, and I'm thinking, what
and
is going
they're
on?
like, "Can we have a photo? Can we have a photo?" And I was like,
Get my glasses.
they're like, "Not really." And then they're all taking photos of Alex whilst, because we're from Lincoln, Lost Village is quite local. We're in a group of about 40 of us, and obviously they all know Alex. They know he does YouTube, but because they know him through us, they just think of him as a normal person.
Yeah.
Then they turn around and then he's got like a queue of these lads like trying to take photos of him in the crowd. It's so funny, and I'm just there, and he's looking at me like,
Please help.
Set me right up.
yeah.
What have you done?
It's so funny though, because to me I was like, he's going to hate this, and I'm like, come on, over here now.
It's all right if it's in. I mean, at a festival, there's settings and times and places for it. In there, like you're at a meal with somebody, or you're on a date, and then you've got fucking people like staring at you. The worst ones are like when they don't actually say anything, but they're just like staring at you, and they're like thinking. I think they're thinking, is that actually him? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like you can see them looking out the corner of your eye, and it's just like a bit awkward.
These guys just didn't give a fuck. They're
No.
a great group of units as well. It was so funny. Alex was just here, and you got these giants like all swarming like, Mars Bar.
Yeah, that is sick.
I want to go back to the app though,
Okay.
because I'm fucking super interested still.
Okay.
About the whole development side of it. I don't know where we got to. You'd seen your drafts.
Yeah.
So let's say you get to a point where you were happy with the first release. What's next? Are you thinking about, okay, how are we going to get our first X amount of signups? How are we going to get the name out there? Or is it just release the app and off you go and see what happens?
I've always said that if you can't get downloads to an app called FitFCK, then something's wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's so out there, it's clickbait, and people are always going to download it for right or wrong. They'll download it for right because they want to be involved. They'll download it for wrong because they're like, well, what is this?
Yeah.
So we always knew that we'd get natural traffic. So still to this day, like I said earlier, we'll get downloads every day without posting sometimes. But my strategy has always been, initially it was just influence marketing.
Okay.
So we worked with over 200 influencers on our first pilot, which is where most of the money went. But what I've noticed now is that the main way that we get downloads is actually through community-driven engagement. So whether it's community events, days like this, where I take the team to an expo, that's when we'll see like the biggest spike in traffic.
Is that what you did? What you did with Ryan? Or Ryan was at a gig with you guys a few weeks back in London?
Ryan was an interesting one. So Ryan followed us after Callum posted, so I naturally saw the association. I said, "Callum, are you mates with this guy?" I said, "Yeah. I know Ryan." I was like, "Cool." And I always say, "Can I DM him?" I hate when people DM people that and they don't ask for the intro. He said, "Yeah, cool, go for it." Yeah. So I dropped Ryan the DM, and it was actually my 30th. I won't shout that too loud. My 30th birthday, and I was like, "Oh, mate, if you fancy it, just come to my 30th. Like, you know, I've seen you on Love Island. You seem like a cool guy.
Oh, so this was your birthday do then? It wasn't
yeah,
like
that was
okay,
it.
okay,
Well,
okay.
no, mate, it was my birthday do sponsored by FitFCK.
I like it. I like
Yeah.
it.
We got so many like sign-ups, impressions on that day. I was like, okay, it's money well spent.
Good birthday.
Oh, mate, I can't remember anything.
Yeah, listen, he was
I'm not a big drinker. It's the first time Callum's seen me drunk since the time we've known each other.
birthday well spent though. I say that's how you got to do a 30th.
Celebratory one,
I woke
yeah,
up
yeah.
next to my old man, and I went, "That's not what I wanted to wake up next to my 30th."
What happened last night then?
Oh, do you know what it was? So like we're obviously everyone's buying you drinks, everyone's bringing you bottles, and I was like, fuck it. And obviously got a Chris in the bottle in front of the person. So someone bought me that AU bottle. I'm drinking that. Tequila, yeah. Wine, yeah. Champagne, yeah. You know where it's going.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm inside the whole time. Go outside towards the end, and that's all I can remember. You know when the oxygen hits you, and not the oxygen, like the fresh air hits you.
Yeah.
It's like
I can breathe.
yeah. So like it hits me, and I just remember. I remember saying to my mate Anthony, I went, "Whoa!" And then there's videos in my group chats where I'm just not in a good way, and I think I'm like 93 kilo, right? So and a dead weight of 93 kilos, very heavy. My old man was saying we were all just trying to pick you up and take you to the cab, but like it was a bit of a struggle. But still, I can't remember all of the night.
It's good.
But that's where you met Ryan.
Yeah, that was where I met Ryan, met a load of other people. And so, yeah, with Ryan, there's a lot that we can do, for sure. Again, he told me about, I won't say the brand, but a modelling offer he got from a huge brand. And his management hadn't put together a portfolio for him. So I was like, mate, let's talk, and we can help him with so much stuff.
100%.
Even fuck social media for a minute, modelling stuff, we could get him loads of gigs.
I feel like Ryan's got loads of potential.
He's built like a fucking god,
Oh.
mate.
Yeah, it's a weird one because like I don't mind if he sees this. When he turned up at my birthday, he was in a shirt. You can't really work out a physique. Then I saw him in the gym. I was like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
mate.
When I saw him, went, "You're too handsome, mate." This is like I don't care. It's not gay. There's something up with this guy. Like,
yeah. No,
Yeah.
he's a top lad. Does.
It comes to our event. It came to one of our events, and I remember just stood in the crowd, and the girl's like, "Do you know him?" I'm like, yeah. Can you introduce us to him? I was like, "All right."
Yeah, I get it all the time.
Yeah,
I want to introduce him.
He's like, "Hi," and then they're like, "Yeah, sounds." And that's it. You think, what was the point in that then?
Yeah, but no, we're big fans of Ryan, and as I said earlier, we just like to work with people that we really get along with.
Because I'm sure Ryan won't mind me saying this, but an offhand comment that he mentioned to me in the gym once was that he's single right at the moment, Ryan, and he said to me that he'd just love a fitness bird just as a girlfriend, and they can work out together. And he said that would be his ideal. He doesn't want like a mental flashy lifestyle. He just wants some fit bird that he can work out with, and that's what the app's all about, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, totally. And
Definitely the market there for it.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I won't say his idea until we've done it, but he's come up with a really good idea in January as to how we're going to get some more sign-ups, which we're keen to do. But I'd say the main focus since the rebrand has been getting sign-ups through our community. Because like I say, it's very fortunate now we're in a position where we've got genuine influencers and creators as just part of our community, which I reckon after the team we've built, that's what I'm most grateful for, is that.
So the sign-up process then, obviously differing. You've mentioned that you've got to be sort of associated with gym. I.e., is that a picture you've got to upload or?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not saying you need to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or anything, but like it needs to be clearly a gym progress picture or a picture in the gym, or you running or you cycling. I've always said it's not just for gym rats. For anyone who's embracing an active lifestyle,
Fitness.
to improve themselves mentally and physically, that's it. You know, it's a bit like if you're not into the gym, as I always say, it's a bit like me going to a Toby Carver as a vegan. You're just not. It's not your thing. So don't go.
I could have a Toby Carver without the meat. I could.
That's a bit strange.
I wouldn't, but mate, sometimes I'll eat all the other extra bits and then the meat's just left at the bottom. I go, I've had a great time. Whatever happens with this beef.
Mate,
Whatever happens with this beef, I've had a good time.
Mate, I can't back that. I'm sorry. No, let's have this out. That's like going to Domino's and getting a pepperoni passion, taking the
cross.
It literally is. Yeah.
Get rid of the pepperoni. I'll have just the passion.
Mate,
I'll have just
mate, I love the beef, but I'm just saying, everything else, I appreciate it.
So you're satisfied off spuds and broccoli and gravy?
They got a bit of
mate,
gravy.
you know
at the
there's
bottom.
more to it
Don't
than
forget
that.
the Yorkshire puddings.
No.
Mate,
But
Yorkshire
they love a good
puddings
Yorkshire.
hit different,
Yeah, they
mate.
love a
You
good
fill it up
Yorkshire.
with everything and you eat it like that and everyone's looking at you like, why is this guy manhandling that Yorkie like that?
Is that how you do it here?
Mate, This is how
He's
we do
drinking
it.
the gravy out of his Yorkshire.
Mate, I'll be scraping it like this, and you'll have the woman next to me thinking, "What is he doing?" I go, "I paid good £6 for this Toby
I'm gonna
Carvery."
eat it right.
Hang on.
Yeah. On the app, have you thought about putting some? Because obviously, when you're in the gym, you're obviously trying to push yourself to be the best.
Yeah.
It's almost like a competition with yourself to see where you can get.
Mm.
Have you thought about maybe having some sort of competition in the app? Something like people
leaderboard.
almost working against each other.
And what
but
is the
together.
profile creation like compared to that of the likes of, let's say the biggest one in my mind is the Hinge versus Tinder, right? Whereas on Tinder it is literally just look at a few pictures, swipe left or right. Whereas I would prefer to use Hinge because it's a bit more personal, right? You've got those voice notes on there. You can put questions and answers and different things like that, which give you way more things to interact with the person other than just a left or right swipe. Obviously, I've not signed up to the app, so I'm intrigued to find out how you'd...
Yes, I mean, I basically thought, and I've always said the reason why I backed this product first is because I'm a case study. And since I use it, I'd use it, and I came from a failing relationship because of it. So I always thought, right, when I go in, I want to know what kind of training someone does, what level they are, and then what their fitness lifestyle is about. So you sign in, fitness pictures, age, sex,
Basics.
what you're looking for, and we actually say, are you looking for a date? Are you looking for a relationship? Are you looking for a training partner? And we actually say you're looking for casual. We're the only dating app that actively advertises casual.
I like that.
Because let's strip the bullshit. That's like why a lot of us
Look
are on
at
dating.
sex, yes.
I was straight on casual.
Mate, I don't know why people. Well, it's virtue signaling, isn't it?
Is there a lot of people that put casual?
Oh, it's probably the most. Yeah.
No way, really?
That and dating, yeah. So once you've done that, you basically sign up to what fitness level you are. So we've got all the way from athlete, PT, bodybuilder, regular gym goer, and then you've got subcategories in that.
Boat carrier.
So when you've got regular gym goer, okay, how many times a week do you go? If you're a bodybuilder, what kind of bodybuilding do you do? If you're an athlete, okay, what sport? Then once you've done that, there's like fitness icebreakers. So like, what's your diet like? What's your favourite training split? What's the most embarrassing thing that's happened to you in the gym? So when you've read it, similar to Hinge,
That's fucking sick.
you know what this person's
Clever.
about. Do you know what I mean?
That is genuinely really fucking cool.
I mean,
like that.
there's still like a long way to go in terms of what I want to add to it, and our crash rate is good. You still get Tinder still crashes, right? But I think we've got the fundamental basics and the IP to create something special.
Okay. So obviously, you mentioned the app, which is obviously great, but with a fitness app, a dating app, dating fitness app, they're going to delete it once they've found someone, right? So obviously that's on your mind, but you've mentioned branching out into different areas like supplements. What are you doing with that, and how are you going to start pushing that? Is it through the app?
So the whole vision with the tree, like when I was pitching this to Callum, I view it as a tree. Like the app is the base, and then clothing, management, supplements, events, they're the branches. But the branches will only be as big as the base of the tree. So the bigger that the app gets, the quicker we can do stuff like this.
Got
So
to
at the
build up
moment,
solid foundations.
that's it. So I will not do a proper clothing line. This is like for the team, but I'll not do a proper clothing line until our member base is big enough where I can be like, okay, accurate guesstimation, these lot will buy. Do you know what I mean?
Thought about mushrooms supplements. I really want to get it because I hear
Never
so
tried
much
it, so I don't know if I can do it.
your lion's manes, your cordyceps, your turkey
Huge in
tails,
America.
massive. But it's all about finding a reliable supplier, and in the UK, it's very hard to find someone who actually gives you the right amount in them, because they'll all have like this milligrams, micrograms, however much it is, and then you go online, people will be like, it's just not enough. It's not enough, and that people swear by it.
Was that all legal
yeah.
stuff?
Cordyceps and turkey tail, and it's like great for your brain.
You'd be surprised. A lot of products contain micro doses of those things.
Yeah.
A lot of products do, but in a mass production, it's obviously not allowed. But a lot of products do contain stuff like that, hair products, stuff like that. It does contain micro doses of it. It's huge in America. It's huge.
Mate, the health benefits is unbelievable, and people just think of mushrooms like a vegetable when it's a complete different thing. Like have you seen that fantastic fungi on Netflix?
No.
One of the most interesting things I've ever seen. The mushrooms, the obviously underground, the mycelium branch all through the
It's a
entire
network,
world, from like here to Australia, just underground, and they can send signals like that across the world. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But that's probably maybe something to look into.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said, because Callum's been coming up with some really cool clothing ideas, and I've said to him, Callum, whether it's clothing, supplements, events, different. It just needs to be different.
Yeah.
I do care obviously how different, but like I don't want to be another fitness brand. I want to be something where people look at it and like, fuck, no one's done that yet. So like with the supplements, could be of interest because no one's really doing that. You know,
Doing it right.
Doing it right, yeah. Because like I say, we're a different brand, and I want our products to be related to that. I just don't. For me, I reckon I'd lose all passion if we just became like a Gymshark replica or a Vanquish replica. You know?
A good one of that is everyone seems to be impersonating Represent right now. That's a good one of Represent built a brilliant brand. I love their brand and everything they do.
Founder's a sick guy.
Yeah, unreal. But so many people are now copying that style of clothing. The way their clothing's designed, it's copy. I see it so much. I'm like, that's Represent. No, it's not. I'm like, wow, so what brand's this?
What's that brand? Lost Planet, is it? That new one?
Yeah, I love that brand.
They're so nice, but you know 100% within the next month there's going to be so many of them. Yeah. They're so different. Have you seen it?
No, I don't think I have.
I don't know how to describe
I've got a t-shirt. It's just
sick.
It's very out there. It's very designer, but quite edgy. I'd say streetwear designer.
Have you ever thought about doing sort of like collaborations on brands like clothing, like someone that they could make like a FitFCK slap?
I mean, for me, it makes sense from a business point of view because you slash your costs quickly and you slash your time. But again, it's just about finding the right one.
Yeah.
I think the problem is that, you know, if you jump into bed, pardon the pun, with the wrong brand, then it's kind of like it's there forever. Do you know what I mean?
You got to be careful, haven't you, with it really?
Yeah, and a lot of the time, you know, they're big contracts and long duration, so you need to make sure that it's bang on. So we spoke about a few ideas, but I think for now, it's kind of just about curating them and finding out which is the right one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lovely, guys. Thanks for the time.
Appreciate it. Thank you, boys. Cheers, mate. Cheers with that. Yeah, good. Yeah. Round the back. We're acting like it's all done. I'll see you soon. See you soon.
See you soon.